In The Godfather, there are so many iconic scenes, and is without a doubt one of the greatest films ever. But what if I told you some of the greatest scenes didn't even make it into the film? The Godfather 1 and 2's runtime were both over 3 hours, and it was a necessity to cut some scenes out from these films. But these deleted scenes were just as intricately crafted, if not more, than the other great scenes included in the film. And the book goes into so much depth that the cinema versions could not possibly integrate everything from the book into the film. Many of these scenes further explain plots and give a deeper glimpse into the characters and their motives. Let's take a look at some of these legendary deleted scenes. The first deleted scene we will look at is a conversation between Michael and Vito near the end of the first film. In this conversation, we see Vito and Michael walking out to the garden where they hint at the plan they're formulating. During this exchange, Michael says, "What about Sonny? What about Sicily?" Vito responds saying that he swore he would never break the peace, in which Vito is referring to what he said at the meeting between the families. This conversation takes you deeper into their plan to kill the heads of the 5 families. There aren't many clues the film gives in regard to how this plan was devised and if Vito was involved, but this scene unveils this mystery. When Michael asks about Sonny and Sicily, he is talking about vengeance on Sonny's death and his late wife Apollonia, who was blown up. Michael responds back to his father, telling him he doesn't have to have any part in it, and he bears all responsibility. This scene further explains why they cut Tom out and why Vito told Tom that he doesn't want him to have any part in what is going to happen. This scene is brief, but rich in detail, revealing what they have planned. The book further backs this scene as they were working on this plan for years and had a handful of conversations about it. The second deleted scene we will look at is what happens right after Vito's near death. In these few scenes, we see Santino Corleone get a call from detectives telling him about his dad being shot. You can see he wants to have one of his infamous temper tantrums, but he remains calm for the time being. After this, he goes to tell his mother the news about what's happened. You'd think she'd be hysterical about the ordeal, but she's very calm in this scene. It's almost as if Carmela is expecting this to happen sooner or later. After this, Sonny goes to the Don's office, opening a safe and retrieving a notebook from it. He phones Tessio, telling him to bring 50 good men, and then tries to call Luca Brasi, but he's unfortunately already sleeping with the fishes. This scene shows another side to Sonny. He's actually calm and logical in these scenes. Instead of becoming enraged, he's more like Vito. He's strategizing, using his brain rather than his emotions for once. This scene, like many others in the film, engrosses you into Sonny's every move and keeps you on edge with what he's going to do next. It would have been great had they kept this scene in, but I suspect they cut due to runtime concerns. Nevertheless, this is another riveting scene that was left from the final film. Furthermore, we get another deleted scene very shortly after this one, coming right before the Corleones got the message that Luca Brasi slept with the fishes. This scene shows Clemenza, Michael, Tessio, and Sonny at the Corleone compound to discuss the news about Vito. Sonny and Tessio go into the other room to discuss who the traitor is, and Michael joins in. But Sonny tells Michael if he hangs in the room, he's going to hear things he doesn't want to hear. But Michael insists, saying he may be able to help. Sonny goes on to say that either Paulie or Clemenza set up Don Vito in the murder attempt, but Michael doesn't believe it's Clemenza, and neither does Sonny. Thus they conclude it's Paulie. The most compelling part of the scene is when Michael gets up and asks Sonny if this is going to turn into an all-out war, to which Sonny says yes. Michael calmly responds, telling him to wait and to talk to Pop first. Sonny disregards this, exclaiming Sollozzo is a dead man and that he's going to go after all the families at any cost necessary. Michael once again responds relaxingly, saying that's not how Pop would play it. This is profound and reveals a lot about the film and characters. We find that Paulie betrayed the family by using the payphone across the street to contact Sollozzo. The family had the phone company on the payroll, and they relayed this to Sonny. This gives viewers a more in-depth explanation of what happened, and they may have cut this out to leave us guessing how Paulie betrayed the family. Moving on, the dialogue between Sonny and Michael is fascinating. This exchange could be interpreted as a foreshadowing for Michael. The calculated look and thinking is similar to Vito's, and you could argue is the beginning of his transformation. Though this scene is great, some may say that it adds too much unneeded depth into the film, which could be a reason it didn't make it in the film. The third deleted scene we'll look at comes early in the first film, when Vito and his sons visit Consigliere Jenko. Now, you may remember the breakdown of this scene from this video, but there's a few more key details to uncover. In this scene, once Vito has taken care of all the business during Connie's wedding, Tom tells him the hospital called and that consigliere Jenko isn't going to make it through the night. Vito arranges all his sons and Johnny Fontaine to come pay their respects. This scene is quite sad, as Vito is losing a childhood friend and trusted consigliere. Jenko implores Vito to save him from the cancer that has him bedridden, but Vito says he can do no such thing. Jenko tells him to stay, meet death with him, and Vito motions for his sons to leave so he can have one last moment with his best friend. This is a heartfelt scene and provides a glimpse into the relationship between the two. In addition to this, before the Corleones were going to greet Jenko, Vito pulled Michael aside. Vito asked him what the ribbons on his uniform were for, to which Michael responded, "For bravery." Vito then condescendingly says, "What miracles you do for strangers," and Michael walks off. Vito quickly calls Michael back to speak to him again. Vito tells Michael to come to him after he's finished with the Marines and school, because he has plans for him. But Michael coldly says, "Well, see," and walks off again. This conversation was rather interesting, as it was clear there is a rift between the two. It can be implied that Vito was not happy with Michael joining the military. I mean, Sonny was too, but Sonny is always mad. This is a great scene in my opinion, and the dichotomy between the love Vito has for Jenko and the coldness Michael has for Vito is intricate yet magnificent. Do you think they should have kept this legendary deleted scene in the film, or was it better they left it out? The last deleted scene is about this man, Fabrizio. As you know, he betrayed Michael, receiving a tip from Don Barzini to whack him. Ultimately, he failed in killing Michael, but in the process, blew up his wife, Apollonia. At the beginning of the second film during the party, Al Neri gave Michael pictures of Fabrizio and explained that he was living in Buffalo, New York, running a pizza store. Michael sees the pictures and says,
"Tim, Fabrizio. Took so long."
Fabrizio was going under the alias name Fred Vincent. After this, it cuts to Fabrizio closing down his pizzeria for the night and walking out to his car. But when he started his car, boom, he was blown up by a bomb set by Neri. This scene refers back to early in the video when Michael specifically asked Vito about Sicily. In the end, Michael left no stone unturned and avenged his late wife. Michael's methodology was also the perfect choice, since it's the same way Fabrizio tried to kill Michael. A possibility this scene wasn't in the film could be due to the long run time of part 2. This movie was 3.5 hours long, and also this scene didn't really advance the main plot in any way, so they may have figured to disinclude it. And those are the deleted scenes that made the list. Have you seen any of these deleted scenes? And if so, comment your favorite one. And if you thought any of them should have been included in the film, feel free to comment below the other deleted scenes you enjoyed too. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.